Okay, let's do exercise 6.1 together. I've copied and pasted the exercise from the textbook onto Blackboard. So we just need to follow the directions here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to open up this ESS EO6 10 IAM. IAM is the extension for assemblies. So we're going to be opening an assembly. So the first thing we need to do is find it right there, and let's download it. Now, depending on your web browser, this is probably just going to go right into your downloads folder. So after downloading it and opening it, you're probably going to want to do a save as so that you know where you have it saved. So I'll do a file save as, and I'm going to save it to my OneDrive, MECH 1100. I've got a folder set up for this already, so I'll save it there. I already had a copy of it saved there, but you won't. You'll be saving this for the first time. So in the assembly, we have several of the parts we're going to need already, but we don't have all of them. So we need to download the other parts. So let's bring up Blackboard again. We also need 2 occurrences of this metric bolt, a seal, and a union. So I'm going to click that. It's going to just open it in its own separate part file. Okay, I don't really need it opened, but I do need to save it. So again, I'll do a save as, save it into the same folder where you saved the first assembly. Again, I already have one saved there, but you won't. You'll be saving it for the first time. And we also need the union. Again, you can download it, open it, and do a save as to save it into the same folder where you've been saving the other parts. And finally, we have the seal. The seal is the other thing we need. So I've got it saved, I've got it opened, and I will save it. Okay, so once you have those other parts downloaded and saved into the same folder, you can then place them. So I need to place the seal. I'll just put that one right there. I'm not really worried about where it is right now. The union. And 2 of those metric bolts. Now I know the bolts might have a metric thread pattern, but everything else in this assembly is in inches. So you don't need to worry about having a metric template or anything like that. It's just the bolts that have metric threads. Okay, and then if we look at the directions, the next thing it tells us is we need to make this connector. So you can make parts within an assembly environment. And so we're going to do that now. We're going to create, rather than placing a component, we're going to create one right here within the within this environment. I'll call it connector. It's going to be a standard part. I got that message because I've already done this once. It's asking me if I want to overwrite it. Yes, I will. And so I'm going to need to select a surface, and the connector is going to have the same profile as this part of the main body. So I'm going to select this to be the surface on which I'm going to work. start a two-dimensional sketch on this surface. And you'll see how all the other parts in the assembly, they turn like a translucent, semi-transparent color. And so that's just to let you know that they're there, but they're in the background. And I can just kind of ignore them for now. So I want to project the geometry of the outer profile of this part. And I also want to place some circles here. Now the holes that I'm making are just going to be, in the connector, are just clearance holes. They're not threaded, so I don't have to worry about actually placing holes. I can just put circles. They have a diameter of 0.3, and so I'll just make the other one equal to the first one. And then I also have the center hole in the middle, and that has a diameter of 0.98. That's just a reference dimension, but that's okay. We can use that reference dimension to our advantage. 0.98. Okay, I can then finish this sketch and extrude this out. Let's see, what was the thickness of the top of that? 0.375. So not 1, but 0.375 inches. Okay, then I'll come around to the back side of that part, place another sketch there, and let's make the outer circle, which has a diameter of 1.25. And I can project the geometry of that inner circle. Oh, it's not giving me the whole circle. It's interesting. There, I had to do it in 3 parts. Should be okay. Finish the sketch, and then I need to extrude that out 0.875. No, that circle being in 3 parts is causing Inventor some issues recognizing that as a profile. So let's cancel this. Let's go back to this sketch. Instead of projecting, let's actually draw one of our own circles. And then try extruding. There we go, just that profile. That extrusion depth was 0.875. 0.875. Okay, a couple other things to add to this connector before we're done with it. It's got a radius here of 0.125. So I'll add a, where is it? Radius. Or, I'm sorry, a fillet. A fillet with a radius of 0.125. Right there. And there's a chamfer on the inside of the through hole that is 0.063, or it's probably actually 0.0625. 0.0625, that's a 16th of an inch, I think. And so let me select that inside edge, apply, and close that out. Okay, so we've got our fillet there, we've got our chamfer, and that's it. So we've got our connector. So we can return to the assembly. Now this connector was made flush to that surface when I created it. I actually don't need it to be flush, so I'm just going to delete that constraint, that assembly constraint. So it's free to move about now, and I can then go about constraining it however I want. Okay, so now I can start assembling all these parts, but I think I'm gonna do that in the second video. So we've got our connector made, we've got all of our parts, we're ready to start assembly. We'll do that in the next video.